From its day-night cycle that forces players to pick and choose how to spend their time, to its different take on action RPG combat, here's everything to know about the Blood of Dawnwalker. The Blood of Dawnwalker centers around Cohen, a villager living during the 14th century in the fictional town of Vale Sangora, located somewhere in the Carpathian Mountains that stretch across Central Europe. In the game, the Black Plague has consumed the land, with anyone infected sentenced to death by the king. Taking advantage of the situation is the vampiric Lord Brensis, who promises the citizens of Vale Sangora a cure in the form of his and his followers' blood, but in return, they must provide a few drops of their own during a monthly ritual. Brensis rules Vale Sangora with an iron fist, culling the weak and putting the rest to work. Brensis attempts to turn Cohen into one of his vampiric henchmen, but the ritual fails. Believing Cohen to be dead, Brensis captures his family, saving them for the next month's ritual. However, Cohen is not dead. Instead, he's become a Dawnwalker, a half-human, half-vampire that can survive the sunlight. He must spend the next 30 days and nights attempting to save his family. In a curious bit of marketing, during this year's Summer Game Fest, a trailer for the Blood of Dawnwalker revealed the game's post-credit sequence, showcasing Cohen in the modern day. Developer Rebel Wolves state the entirety of the game will take place in the 14th century, and that potential future installments are planned to take place in other locations and eras.
You don't give up easy, eh?
Rebel Wolves was founded in early 2022 by Konrad Tomaskowicz, one of the directors on both CD Projekt Red's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Cyberpunk 2077. Following the release of those games, Tomaskowicz was the subject of an internal investigation at the developer due to allegations of workplace bullying. While that inquiry found him not guilty, Tomaskowicz left the company in mid-2021 and claimed in a workplace letter that, quote, "A lot of people are feeling fear, stress, or discomfort when working with me," and apologized for, quote, "all the bad blood I have caused." He added that, quote, "I am going to continue working on myself. Changing behavior is a long and arduous process, but I'm not giving up, and I hope to change." A number of team members at CD Projekt Red left in order to join Tomaskowicz at Rebel Wolves, with the studio now numbering around 160 employees, developing the Blood of Dawnwalker with Unreal Engine 5. Tomaskowicz wants to keep the team smaller than CD Projekt Red, which is nearing 1,000 total developers, and have Rebel Wolves focus on one project at a time, rather than becoming a studio with multiple games in development at once. Tomaskowicz points to Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, and Crimson Desert as examples of RPGs that are doing something different, and hopes that the Blood of Dawnwalker is similarly seen as a different kind of game. The Blood of Dawnwalker is a third-person action-adventure RPG. As previously mentioned, the protagonist Cohen has 30 days and nights to rescue his family, and players will have to make choices on how they want to spend that time. While players are free to explore the open world as much as they want, completing quests advances time, with each day and night broken up into 8 segments. And players are notified ahead of undertaking a task how many segments said task will take up. Players will not be able to complete every single quest on a single playthrough, and decisions they make will affect how the story progresses. Cohen's choices will also impact his reputation in Vale Sangora. The higher Cohen's infamy, the more dangerous the world becomes as Brensis tightens his leash. The day-night cycle has an effect on the different kinds of actions available to Cohen as well. During the day, there are more options to resolve quests with pacifism, and when in combat, Cohen will rely on his sword. At night, Cohen's vampiric half takes over, now able to reach areas that he couldn't as a human, leaning more into stealth and utilizing his claws and fangs in combat. As a vampire, Cohen will need to regularly feed on either animals or humans to satiate his hunger, and if players fail to do so, he will go feral and take a bite out of the closest target, which could have potential story ramifications. The more Cohen feeds, the higher his corruption level rises, unlocking new vampiric perks for the player to acquire. Players have two options when it comes to combat. The first is directional attacks and blocks, where players use the right thumbstick to choose the direction Cohen will either be attacking or blocking. The other is omnidirectional, which is akin to a typical action-adventure game, with Cohen attacking and blocking automatically without any additional directional input. However, this method consumes more stamina than the default option. As players face off against enemies, they'll build up magic charges that they can expend in order to deploy a variety of hexes in battle. Magic can be used inside and outside of combat, and depending on the time of day depends on the kind of magic available to Cohen. For example, by day he can do blood rituals, as he lacks his vampiric healing abilities, allowing him to bleed unabated. And by night, he can transform into a wolf to get around the world more quickly. Brensis has a vampiric court with 3 deputies under his rule. As players make their way through the game, certain activities will unlock that tie directly to each of these deputies. It will be up to the player if they decide to face off against Brensis at full strength or weaken his operations by targeting his subordinates. Like other RPGs, there are more traditional gameplay mechanics, such as swapping out new gear for different benefits and crafting. The Blood of Dawnwalker releases on September 3rd, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, with the standard edition costing $70. If you buy the game physically at launch, you'll acquire the Day 1 edition, which includes a steelbook case and a physical copy of the world map. The $80 Digital Deluxe Edition includes a digital soundtrack, compendium, and comic book. For $200, you can get the physical Collector's Edition, which bundles all the items of the Digital Deluxe and Day 1 editions, along with a sticker set, a physical version of the compendium, and a 9-inch Cohen statue. Pre-ordering any edition will unlock the Sangoran Wayfarer's armor set early. And that's everything you need to know about the Blood of Dawnwalker. For more on the game, including our eventual review, stay right here on GameSpot.